Welcome to Hope Channel International. What do you think of when you hear the words Christian church? In this video, learn more about what it means to be a part of a Christian church and the importance of reflecting Christ's character in everything we do.
It's interesting how whenever we talk about church, whenever you hear the word church, so what is church? What is the first thing that comes to your mind?
I'm sorry to say, it's a building. When
It's a
I think
building.
of like
Yeah.
going to church, I think of like I'm going to a physical building.
Okay, so this is interesting. This is interesting because apparently the very word church in English language comes from kirche or kyriake. And kyriake is actually Greek for dome, like a dome.
Very interesting.
So it's actually a building. So
Yeah.
church is the building. But this is not the word that is used anywhere in the
Right.
New Testament.
Never.
Because the word that is used in the New Testament is actually ecclesia. Ecclesia. That's why we have ecclesiology, ecclesiastical, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Which we also translated as church, which basically mean called out. The ones who are called out.
Yeah. And that's what we see in the book of Acts. That's people aren't huddling in a building; they're moving out all over the place, and we see that with Barnabas seeking out Saul, and they move out. They move out, and it reminds me of a trip I made to Boston a little while ago. There's a famous building there called the Old State House, something like that, the Old Meeting House. And that was actually what we would call a church, but the kind of Anabaptists that started it didn't like to use that term because they viewed the church in this way: called out, people that are called out. The church is a movement of people. So they called it the meeting house. Hey, we're going to meet here, and this is where we're gonna have our events and services or whatever. But the church is the body of Christ. It's people who are called out.
So what is a Christian church then? Because this is what we see: Christian and then church. So what is a Christian church?
Well, a church should be of Christians,
Of course.
right?
Okay.
But the way Christians are perceived in the world is just believers believing in God. But it's so much more than that.
Yeah.
It's not just being a believer, because you can have people who don't go to church and refer to themselves as Christians. So in here, you'd have to be a Christian, not just Christ-minded, but professing to be a follower of Christ
Yeah.
and practicing
Right.
to be a follower of Christ.
One, I love the idea of just calling the church called out, the people that are called out, because then you're not focused on these are the people that go to this particular church,
Yeah.
or they go to this particular church, or they believe in this particular thing, or whatever. Which I feel like, myself included, like we get caught up on
Yeah.
all the distinctions between us. But if we see ourselves as those that have been called out by Christ,
Yeah.
then that opens it up to not just a building, not just a group of people, but like that's everybody
Yeah.
that has felt God calling them.